Quick disclaimer, all the content in this video belong to its rightful owner, the urinating tree. No copyright infringement intended. I don't own shit, by the way. If you hear the parts, as a native and fan of this team, that is urinating tree referring to himself. So yeah, just so that confusion's out of the way, since everyone knows I'm from Carolina Lions fan. But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoy this video.
I'm bored. I'm open for some requests for material. Fire away, everyone.
You're the Steelers!
You know what? You're on. I have been waiting for a reason to rip this team to shreds, and now I have it. The Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the most hypocritical, two-faced, sniveling, and unlikable organizations in all of football. Even as a native of the city, I cannot stand them anymore. How can we even begin? There's that Michelin man known as Big Ben. Let me put it to you this way. Nobody in this city actually likes Ben Roethlisberger. We merely tolerate him because he can somehow throw a football and he isn't Cordell Stewart. Now he has reached the Brett Favre eclipse of his career, where the fat fuck fancies himself a great leader and bandies back and forth about retirement because he's running out of lives on the field. It's fucking groan-worthy to hear him go on about how we need to follow him and how immature everyone else on the team is. Bitch, are you for real? Do I have to exhume all of the skeletons about your past? And it's not even the rape allegations. It's about being a total cunt to everyone you meet and the whole drama with the fucking motorcycle. It's about being banned from several bars in the area for walking out on a bunch of tabs. It's about suspiciously getting married and having kids when the rape fervor was at its peak. It's about being a total fucking hypocrite. You were that immature sack of shit. We know what's going to happen, man. You're going to retire, shed some tears in a press conference, and sign with the Cardinals to be with your buddy Bruce Arians a few weeks later. He's merely tame compared to a few others on the squad, like Le'Veon Bell, a man who oozes patience that he could read the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer and still manage a 5-yard gain. Unfortunately, the dude is kind of an idiot. What with the hotboxing on a major highway, refusing to take several mandatory drug tests, and holding out because he finds a $12 million franchise tag to be insulting. And this was after allegedly rejecting a contract extension. Hate to say it because he sheds talent like he does tackles, but the dude's a lolcow. But how could he be a lolcow, you ask? He's one of the best running backs in the league. The man just wants to get paid, you ignorant hack. Simple. 2 words. Rap career.
Trent Bayless, I've been hearing you lately. You love Jerry way too much, you acting like y'all related. I got the Hall of Fame waiting. I'm the best and you hate it. I don't know why you hating. I don't know why you hate me. Probably cause my name is mentioned close with some of the greatest. Then they talk about patience, you close to testing my patience. You
Don't quit your day job anytime soon, buddy. Then there's Antonio Brown. A man whose hubris has transcended the spiritual plane and now has its own field of orbit. A little ego and confidence can be healthy. Brown has not only gone past this point, but taken a gigantic shit on it as well. The man is becoming absolutely cancerous, live streaming immediately after a playoff game and showing his mug to millions while Mike Tomlin is speaking in the background after a goddamn playoff game. If he doesn't get the ball, he's just going to pout until the second coming. Seriously, first touchdown in the conference championship doesn't go his way. He whines about it on the sideline. These actions aren't the Steeler way, obviously. Something needs to be done about this pest. I know. Sign him to the biggest fucking extension a wide receiver has ever gotten. Can we please put an end to this Steeler way dogma? It's one of the biggest piles of shit I've seen since Jim Ball's silly. The so-called code only applies if you're a scrub or bench warmer. If a star player does something egregious, they simply brush it off and sweep it under the rug. If you just happen to be a 5th-string wide receiver or backup defensive tackle, nope, fuck you, you're cut. It's utter hypocrisy. Either everyone is subject to the Steeler way, or nobody is. Tell me this, if you care so much about this honor code, then why the fuck is Joey Porter still an assistant coach? The fucker accosted a bouncer at a local bar, was arrested for it, yet he was on the sidelines in full capacity the next week like he had just come back from Sunday school. Jeff Reed was one of the biggest lolcows in football for a few years, but they did nothing until he could no longer kick a football. Martavis Bryant can't stop smoking weed, yet he's still on the goddamn team. It's completely fake, yet everyone's so arrogant that it's apparently the be-all and end-all for Steeler football. Fuck off with this garbage. But do you want to know the worst part of this organization? The fan base. Oh, jumping Jesus Christ, the fan base. You thought the Eagles fan base was bad? Steeler Nation makes them look like choir boys. Growing up and marinating in this shit, I'd rather waltz into the old vet and get pelted by snowballs all game long than deal with a yinzer. Everybody talks about how loyal the fans are, how they wouldn't give up on the team no matter what happens. They obviously drank the Kool-Aid. In reality, we are some of the most knee-jerk t-shirt sacks of shit you will ever meet. Look at the stands every time they are losing in the second half of a home game and then lecture me about their loyalty. We are the type of people that will go from gloating about how this team is going to win the Super Bowl one week to demanding everybody and their mother be fired the next. Mike Tomlin may be a walking cliche dispenser who doesn't know how to manage a game clock if his life depended on it, but he's still a top 10 coach in the league. Most fans want him fired after every loss and even some victories. Do you have any idea how many people would die in Cleveland or Cincy if they had a chance to get Tomlin as their coach? The Aztec sacrifices would pale in comparison. Everywhere you go in this town, a Steelers jersey is considered proper attire everywhere. Bars, restaurants, family gatherings, shopping excursions, fucking churches. I half expected a Steelers chant to start out at Dan Rooney's funeral. Everywhere I go, I see these inbred fucks driving around in some shitty 92 Ford Taurus decked out in some semblance of a shrine to the Steeler gods. It's as fake as the blue-collar mentality that this city boasts about. It hides the inescapable truth about the Steelers fan base. We are massive fucking hypocrites. We speak about how patriotic we are, yet immediately flipped the fuck out when the president made an emergency address to the nation during the first few plays of a Steelers game against Indianapolis. He was discussing the San Bernardino shootings. We are the kind of people that will have a Klan hood next to an autographed Mean Joe Green jersey and have zero understanding of the irony behind it. We will never shut the fuck up about this team's successes, but we will be the first to hide the bodies of past failures. We laugh at the Browns and their misery, yet forget that the Steelers were the joke of the NFL deep into the 1960s. We put the Chief on a pedestal for being a great leader, but conveniently forget that he didn't care for winning and ran the team like a fucking country club. We constantly complain about how the Patriots are such cheaters, and then conveniently dismiss the team's rampant steroid use during the Steel Curtain era. We flipped so much shit about Vontaze Burfict's hit on Antonio Brown, yet Mike Mitchell does the same shit nearly every week and we barely bat an eyelash. And then there's Michael Vick. Good old Michael Vick. We can't have that troublemaker on our team. He's not a true Steeler. Yinzer Nation will never tolerate such behavior. True, Vic may have been a fucking idiot, but the man served his time and has done a significant amount for dogs since he's been released from jail. Even if fans hate him, who the hell do we cheer for? A quarterback who can't keep his dick in his pants and had kids as a PR move, a running back who hotboxes as often as he makes shitty rap tracks, a wide receiver who makes Ricky Henderson look modest, a fucking idiot who gets his stash from Josh Gordon, a tight end who actively lied to doctors about concussion symptoms, a center who actively defended Aaron Hernandez during his murder trial, and a linebacker who beat his girl during an argument. But that's okay, because Dan Rooney excused his behavior saying it was about baptism. Yeah, baptism. Didn't mention that during all the necrophilic rim jobbing, now did you? The dude didn't give a shit about anything besides Duquesne and the North Shore, yet people hailed him as this champion of the city. It's fucking baffling. Even if you think I'm a goddamn idiot who has an axe to grind, there is still one thing that is pure truth. They can't beat New England! They may have made the Super Bowl 3 times in that tenure, but they have never had to face the Patriots during that time. The Steelers are their version of the Washington Capitals. It was on full goddamn display last year with their coaching. Oh boy, Zone D! It's not like Tom Brady has been ripping that apart for the last 15 years. People were treating Keith Butler like he was Prince Charles waiting for the Queen to die for a decade, yet this is the best that he could come up with? Nope, they went full Steelers again. They got eliminated in the conference championship to, what do you know, the fucking Patriots! During one of my many head-shaking moments last fall, I slowly came to a firm realization. I hate this team. Every goddamn aspect of this organization is abhorrent on the inside and out. The sheer arrogance and insufferability of every action, every word, every play they make oozes like Heinz ketchup. Nothing would make me happier than to see this team become the Cleveland Browns of the NFL again, like they were throughout the 1960s. It's coming, too. Big Ben's legs are going to get shredded and he'll fuck off. Le'Veon is going to be forging a shitty rap career elsewhere. Antonio Brown is going to become a total cancer and might be run out of town. I personally can't wait for it. Artie II is a meddlesome piece of shit and I expect him to fuck everything up sooner rather than later. Yinzers, I know you're pissed at me. I know you want to punch the screen of your old compact, but you know deep down in your heart that I'm right. Your angry calls to sports radio after every loss is brilliant comedy, and I await more of it in the future. Come the fuck at me! And by the way, Permanis is overrated pig slop.
Play action. Bortles upstairs, wide open.
Told you. I told you. I've been telling you this would happen for weeks now. But did any of you listen? All you kept saying was that I had an agenda, that I had an axe to grind. Well, where are you now? Don't get me wrong, I take no pride in being right about this. It was just something I came to expect. I saw it with them constantly playing down to teams. I saw it with all of the drama. Fuck, I saw it when Jacksonville beat their asses back in week 5. Once again, ego was this team's downfall. The absolute arrogance of this squad from top to bottom, coaches to bench warmers, was on full display all season long. Every fucking time that I would hear these fuckers open their mouths, it was about how they were going to get back in New England. Last year was just a fluke. They were going to go to Foxborough and kick their asses and prove how great they really are. Well, guess what? You didn't even fucking get to them. You got completely fucking owned on your home field by the fucking bologna sandwich man. But you know what? With how all of you little shits treated James Harrison on his way out, how you sniped him at every waking moment, it's time for the cannons to be turned back on you. Two can play at this game, motherfuckers, and this mockingbird doesn't exactly sing. All I kept hearing on sports radio and from the fans all this fucking week was about how Jacksonville was such a weak team. They are no match for the Steelers, they all said. The Jags are going to get absolutely creamed. Did any of you fuckers not see week 5? How they stomped you with a healthy D at home? Did nobody panic when the goddamn Browns torched the starting secondary in week 17? But oh no, they have Blake Bortles as their QB. He can't throw a football. He is awful. What a laugh everyone had at his expense. You know what? Blake Bortles did what he needed to do. Blake Bortles didn't make mistakes like Ben did. All you care about is your fucking narratives about how the Steelers are this invincible organization that can do no wrong and they ascend past the drama. And you wonder why I think sports journalism in this city is a total fucking joke. You make me sick! Mike Tomlin, if I were to seek a bigger blowhard in this city, I don't know if I could find anyone. You epitomized the team as a whole. Nothing but talk. Talk all the shit you want about the Patriots, but do you want to know something? They have a culture. They wouldn't accept any of the shit you let your players do. Remember when people were talking about how James Harrison was dogging practices and sleeping through meetings? Who was more at fault? The player or the coaching staff that enabled it? You've allowed the insufferable egos in the locker room to take over and you've done nothing but bend to their will. But I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna huff and puff about how this is unacceptable for the team. No fucking cliches in the world can allow you to prevent your team from playing down to their competition. Once or twice, I get it happens, but it occurs every single fucking game. There's a point where it's on the staff to get a team prepared for anything and everything. This is a professional league and you've done nothing but coast on high-end talent. Terry Bradshaw may be an asshole, but he's absolutely right. You're a cheerleader. You're Dan Bilesma. You've allowed a toxic environment to fester for the sake of being a player's coach. You know how many coaches would kill for the level of talent on this team, yet you continue to waste it every single year. Get fucked! Todd Haley, I would waste breath on you, but that is too good for your useless ass. Everything about you is just sniveling elitism. You're too good to do the basic plays. You have to make yourself seem so much more of a genius. A jet sweep on a 4th down, oh boy, you fooled them there, Todd. A play-action pass on a 4th and 1, Bill Walsh bows down to your glory. The most offensive things you do are kerfluffles at local bars. Larry Johnson was right about you. You are cancer incarnate. You're making Captain Fatfuck look sympathetic. Do you know how impossible that is? Hiring you was a colossal mistake. Get fired and take your faux tough guy routine to a high school, you fuck. Mike Mitchell, you are the most useless sack of shit I have ever seen. Everything about you sickens me to my core. The way you prance and beat your chest on the football field as you give up 25-yard gains. How you're one of the dirtiest players in the league. How you get burned by the simplest shit like flea flickers. You know the main goal of a safety is to cover people, right? You are as terrible as this defense is. You are nothing but talk. All you do is throw your mouth around about everything under the fucking sun. How you're going to beat New England in hell or Haiti or anywhere. Have you seen how awful you're fucking playing? You are one of the worst safeties in the league, hands down. I would compare you to Vontaze, but you know what? Vontaze has talent. Vontaze doesn't open his mouth to spew shit every 5 seconds. You are a total waste of oxygen. Perhaps in that little brain of yours, you can actually think about, I don't know, stopping to reflect on how shitty of a player you are. Oh look, I have Mitchell right here. I know it's a burning pile of trash, but what's the difference? You want to know the worst part of all of this? This year may have been their last chance. This offseason is a crossroads for them. Captain Fatfuck may be debating retirement yet again. If it's his last game, then good riddance to that asshole. Le'Veon may be gone. They aren't going to pay him. I honestly wouldn't either, not with that ego. He can whine and bitch about the franchise tag as he makes shitty rap tracks. Martavis Bryant is definitely gone, thank God. This offense could be decimated. Even if Ben comes back, he isn't getting any younger. You might be done. And for what? One of the greatest failures in football's recent memory. You are the football version of the Washington Capitals. Fuck this fucking team, fuck these arrogant fucking fans, and fuck the toxic culture that this drama-laden team enables for proving me right yet again. Fuck!